Welcome to another video, historians. This time we're just going to do a very brief overview of what it looks like if you have put references, in-text references, and a list of references together correctly for your paragraph. Now remember, the process of writing the paragraph is one in which there's a certain messiness. And I really want you to embrace the fact that the journey to success isn't always neat. Sometimes you can feel like you're doing things wrong. But that wrongness, that messiness, that little confusion is the process of learning. So don't freak out if the journey to success here has a few bits that confuse you. That's part of our process. The road to success isn't an easy one. It's not one that is nice and linear. Have a look at the little diagram that I keep returning to. Our paragraph. Let's have a little bit of a talk about this one here. It's the process, it's the result of a process of drafting, proofreading, editing. There are certain rules of genre we've done. It's third person, it's past tense. We've edited, we've proofread, and we've followed a structure called PEEP. And I really want you to remind that. But now let's have a look, and you might even want to highlight on the copy of this you've got. Let's have a look at the in-text references. They should be easy to spot. Here's one. Surnames of authors, a year of publication, and page numbers. That tells me it's a book. Unknown, 1789. That's an interesting one. Usually we don't say unknown, but this particular source does. How do I know what that means? Well, I'll end up looking at the list of references that is submitted with the paragraph, so it makes sense to me. Look at this one. Author's surname sitting outside the year of publication and the pages. That's a bit different. Look at this one here. I've got the unknown artist mentioned within the sentence and the year of publication at the end. That allows me to do another way, or write another way, an in-text reference, instead of just sticking them at the end of a sentence. Here's a surname of an author, year and page inside the brackets. Notice quotes are in inverted commas. Hit pause if you want to think about how that's being done. Here's author's surname, year and page at the end of the sentence, and a lot of people are really comfortable doing that. It's interesting, however, that the information that is being referenced isn't in quotation marks. That's an example of referencing an idea within a source, and that's something you should think about doing. Let's have a look down. In this particular case here, I've taken one word as a quote. I like the word disliked, and I've included it. I can sometimes even change word forms. I can go dislike, disliking, disliked, in inverted commas, and they are all a form of quoting the source, even if I change it slightly. And as I get to the end of that sentence, there I've got the open brackets, closed brackets, authors, three authors, the year and the page. What order do I put a book that has three authors? Whatever's on the cover. Okay, we'll go down. Here's our unknown, 1789 again. Then I've got down here another reference. Interesting that in my piece sentences, I don't tend to quote or reference. Now, with every paragraph that I submit in history, I need to make sure that I've got a list of references. And that list of references tells the reader how to find those sources that you've got in an in-text reference. You can't have an in-text reference without also having a list of references underneath your work. And we'll see how they come together in a moment. A few little tips as you look at it. Authors' surnames in the order they are in the book. Remember, some websites have got corporate authors, like the ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. I'm going to put together a little video that shows how to construct and how to use those word tools properly. They're not very hard, but you do need to think about it. Then authors' surnames, even including this weird unknown one. Authors' surnames are in alphabetical order. One of the quickest ways to see a student's done something wrong is where they don't have an alphabetical order. You've just got to fill in the boxes in the right way. Now remember, I was saying to you that a completed piece of work will have the paragraph with the list of references underneath it. Or, as you get older, you might have an essay with a list of references underneath it. If you've got PowerPoints, you need whatever you're using on the PowerPoint, in-text references and so on, and with it, a slide with a list of references in it. So have a look at how this is structured and how it's laid out. What this is saying to me is, if I, as a reader, want to find Guest, Lawrence and Ishias's book, I go down here to the list of references and it says, hey, which one of those books do Guest, Lawrence and Ishias talk about that information in? Well, the 1984 version of their book. And it was called Tradition and Change. If I have to ring an office to find it, I ring Jacaranda Press office in Brisbane. So there's a system to this. I think that's enough for you to think about and chew over, but it's very important to have a list of references and in-text references in history. There they are, your in-text references. There are the list of authors in your list of references down below. Again, always remember the style, the way in which you're writing, and the need of drafting. Think about, you always need to critically use the evidence and the quotes. Make sure you try and draw upon all the evidence that's given to you. You can choose how much of the sources you use and how you go about using them. But if teachers have provided you evidence in an assignment task, it's probably wise to try and make use of it to show you can. You must have a list of references. You must correctly in-text reference. Use the Microsoft Word tools. Remember, there are rules about how you can place, but there are variations and flexibility allowed. I think that's enough for you to think about and play over a couple of times here. Good luck with that.